Hi, I'm gonna have to kind of be loud because this hood makes so much noise, and I want to give you a quick introduction to this glass vacuum line that you're going to use to measure the molar mass. So this system here is connected to a pump down here, and it goes through a trap that will have liquid nitrogen in it for you already put in place. And this valve here is the main valve that is referred to in your lab guide. It's connected through a large tube, that's the main body component of the manifold. And then there are three valves here, A, B, and C. And A connects you to a sample tube with a liquid. That's the liquid that we're going to let become a vapor and fill through valve B to this bulb, which we can remove from the vacuum line with a known volume. And we'll be able to determine the pressure that's in that bulb of a certain amount of vapor. And then next door in the lab we have a balance set up in here that you can weigh the bulb on and see how much more mass there is when you have a known pressure in there. This is valve C. We can open that if we want to try to determine what the pressure in the lab is. And here on this end we have the pressure sensor, which is a Bluetooth device. So one thing that I want to demonstrate for you is that we're going to use the two-hand rule for working with valves. So this valve right now is closed. In a glass vacuum line, I can always tell that a valve is closed because I can see that the O-ring or the tip of the valve is pressed up against the glass. So here I can see it's pressed up against the glass. And to open it, I'm going to make sure I have my other valves closed. So this one's closed, this one's closed, this one's open, but it's also sealed off by this sample tube. So I can close it. I'm using two hands. One holds the barrel and the other turns the knob. So I see O-rings here, those are all closed. And now I can open this valve, the main valve. So I lift that up by turning it, and there are seals in there. You just want to be sure that those seals stay in contact with the barrel. And so here we can see that this lowest seal on the main valve is halfway up the scale. So that means that's pumped all the way down in this main part. And then our sensor, once we have it connected to our phone, will give us a reading of the pressure, and you'll get a sense of when that's at the lowest value you can get. So that's how you open up the valve to start pumping things out. For valve A, if I open this up, that removes any air or vapor that's in this portion of the vacuum line. And now this last valve is sealed off for the liquid. So that we want to freeze to a solid using liquid nitrogen. And then once it's solid, we can open the valves and pump away anything that doesn't freeze to a solid. That'll be like air. That makes sure that we don't have air mixed with our vapor. So we'll freeze it. Once it's frozen, we'll freeze it with a little insulated container. Pour some liquid nitrogen in there, freeze it. When we pump on it, we'll remove all the air, and then we seal it back up and let it become liquid again. So that's the purification process. Once we pump all the air out of this bulb, and we seal up this valve to the gas bulb, and this valve B. Once those are closed, you can remove this. That's done by loosening this fitting and then just sliding this out. And so then this bulb is what can be measured over on the balance. Then to bring it back, we run it back in here. We have to make sure the O-ring will go around the glass tube. So here's this O-ring. I slide it on and put it back in. And, Once that is feeling the pressure of going against the O-ring, just a little more of a twist. Doesn't have to be really hard. That's a good seal. That will hold the bulb on, it won't fall. And now I have air in here, and if I close the other valves, I can pump this air away because I can open valve B, and the air that's between this valve and this one will get pumped away. So I'll demonstrate that. Okay, and then that allows that air to be pumped away. So the last part is we're going to let this liquid evaporate to fill the vacuum line in this bulb. We'll close this off with a measured pressure. The temperature is determined by this thermometer in the back of the hood. The volume is given on this little sheet of paper and in the lab guide. Once we fill it with a known pressure and close it off, we weigh it again. We'll have the mass, the volume, the pressure, and the temperature. And that's how you make measurements with this apparatus. Okay.